In all my years of law enforcement, and now with the Great Falls Rescue Mission, I've never seen so many families in need of temporary shelter and hope.
Their spirit is broken. We felt lost.
Every day it's day to day. You never know when it's going to happen.
In Great Falls Public Schools, the average number of homeless students is 300.
We had no place to go.
We have to tell 5 to 10 families each week that we have no shelter for you.
While Montana boasts of visual beauty, there are things that are hidden or the average citizen just doesn't want to see.
I see women and children, fathers and their children that have been abandoned, abused, victimized. Maybe they've taken ill and can't work, so they've been evicted from their home because they've lost their job.
This reminds me of when I was a child. We lived along the railroad track between Belton and Armington. The Depression was on, and there were a lot of people that were riding the rails. And almost every day somebody would be hopping off one of the boxcars, and they'd come up to our door where we lived and ask if they could chop wood or do something to earn a sandwich or a bowl of soup. As poor as we were, my mother and grandmother never turned anybody down.
The Great Falls Rescue Mission has really changed over the last few years. Nowadays the dynamics are really single moms, single dads, and even intact families are now the new norm that are coming to the mission. There's so many of them that are displaced, and really what they're looking for is a place for food, a place for shelter, and a place for hope.
We are seeing more and more families living in campsites or in their cars.
I remember even at one point writing, "God, please help me," on my steering wheel, and just like putting my forehead on it. And luckily my kids are entertained in the car, but if we would have spent nights in our car and still had to get up and go to school the next day.
Me and Athena wouldn't have had any place to go, period, if they hadn't helped us. This sure beats sleeping in an old Suburban.
We sat in the truck. I pushed back my seat and got a blanket in the back.
The problem of homeless families is growing every day, and the Rescue Mission is the only place in Great Falls and probably Cascade County that can meet that need.
Currently we have 12 family units available, and they're full on any given day. Occasionally we'll have a family who actually gets an opportunity to move into a place of their own, and then that room fills right up the next day.
Since 1963, the Great Falls Rescue Mission has been a beacon of hope to thousands of Montana's homeless, providing shelter, feeding the hungry, caring for the sick, and sharing God's love with compassionate care. Children of distressed families also impact the resources of our school system.
Well, our kids that are coming in that are in a homeless situation are in a real transitional point of their lives. They've been uprooted from their homes, and they're trying to find a place to stay and a place to call home.
Oftentimes they are hungry, they have an instability about them, they are looking for connecting with somebody, and without a home, they don't have a togetherness.
This lot, which is located near the current men's shelter, is our future site of the new Family Living Center for the Great Falls Rescue Mission. It is here we can stabilize homeless families so they may begin their journey to be released from their poverty mindsets and despair.
When you're dealing with broken kids, consistency is everything. They want to have a place to call their own, whether that's their room at the mission. Maybe they've been living on somebody's couch or whatever. Okay, this is my room, this is my bed. Same thing with our programs. The kids want a place to call their own. This is where I go after school. This is where we hang out and we talk about God with our friends. And a building would give us that consistency that we're trying to deliver through all the rest of our programs.
The center will not only provide safe shelter for a family, but help them get back on their feet again financially. A building with classroom and counseling space to deal with the mindsets and behaviors that contributed to their homelessness in the first place.
Well, a family center really needs to be built here because separating parents from each other is difficult. But what's truly devastating is when we have to turn a family away because we don't have the room.
I was shocked to find out that my husband and I, the family, we could not be together. I was in the women's side, and my husband had to stay across the street in the men's side. Putting the kids to bed, I was solo. The kids felt like, where's your dad?
Michael ran away. It was really hard trying to get across the street. If something's going on, I couldn't do anything. I was being stuck in the men's side. I was like, I couldn't help her with the kids. I couldn't do anything. And then
the Family Center at the Rescue Mission will provide the necessary stability for young people and their families so that they can concentrate on school. It will have a positive effect on their hope for their future, their vision, their goals, and ultimately on their graduation from high school.
The Great Falls Rescue Mission is not just about putting a homeless person or family in shelter for the night.
It's about transforming lives, breaking the cycle of poverty, and breaking the cycle of addiction and dysfunctional behavior.
Today I have a job of 3 years, 5 kids, and we have a 4-bedroom apartment, and very excited to come home.
I think it's a very desperate need for a family shelter. There are lots of children who go hungry every day because they don't get a house or a place to stay for the night.
God has a way of telling your heart to give. Giving to a great cause has made me a better person. When you give to the Rescue Mission, I believe God will bless you many times over.
Help bring the message of God's love and provide the miracle of hope, healing, and restoration to children and families. Please support the Great Falls Rescue Mission's Family Center campaign.